Yo, 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 it's your boy Jamie Woods, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about why Madrid is so slept on and why you need to visit it. But let's get it, baby.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in a golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, ayy.
Madrid, 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 y nada más, Madrid. Madrid is so slept on and overlooked compared to other big cities in Spain. And the thing is, Madrid is one of those cities that people talk about a lot, right? Madrid's always mentioned, but it's never a city that people mention as their favorite city. Whenever someone talks about their favorite cities in Spain, they always refer to Barcelona, Sevilla. They talk about Ibiza, Mallorca, Valencia. They always talk about other places but Madrid. Madrid's like the capital of Spain, and it's always neglected and ignored and overlooked. But I thought I would give some love to Madrid, and that's not because I'm a Madridista, right? Because I'm a Real Madrid fan, but because it deserves some love. So the capital of Spain is often referred to as a boring city, especially compared to Barcelona, but I believe that this is far from the truth. Madrid has a lot to offer and deserves your time and attention. So guys, Madrid's referred to as a boring city, and that's because Madrid's one of those cities, guys. This is the way I want to put it when it comes to Madrid. Madrid is what you make it. It's not like Barcelona or even Seville, but Barcelona specifically, where you can walk outside your apartment and there's something to do, right? There's a speakeasy, there's a bar, there's a good ass restaurant, there's a bunch of drunk girls and guys roaming around doing stupid shit. There's a beach down the block. It's not like that. It's not like Barcelona, but that doesn't make it inferior to Barcelona. It's a total different city, and it's going for a different type of vibe. Madrid is what you make it. So if you're into museums, they got that, okay? They got some amazing museums to go to. Some of them, depending what time of the season and what time of the year you go to, are free, depending on the day. So if you go on a Monday or a Sunday, it can be free, right? They got amazing state-of-the-art, top-tier museums. I think the best museum in all of Spain, I believe, is in Madrid. I forgot the name of it. I forgot the name of it, but I heard they got the best museum. I was supposed to go, didn't get to go. But they have supposedly the best museum. If you guys know or get where I'm trying to go at, write down the museum in the comments section when you can. So there's that. Madrid, on top of that, has amazing restaurants, of course, which we're going to get to later. There's just so much to do. The nightlife, which we're going to get to. There's a lot of good shit going on in Madrid. It is what you make it. If you just stay in your apartment, you walk around for a bit, and that's all you want to do, you know, you may not encounter some cool things. It's just not like Barcelona, where you could walk around and it'll be an amazing night, because there's a lot. It's just so vibrant and energetic. That's how Barcelona is. Madrid is a little bit more calmer compared to Barcelona. So if you go to Plaza Mayor, which in my opinion is probably the most busiest area of all of Madrid, it's not as crazy as compared to going to Las Ramblas in Barcelona, right? Or even other places in Spain. So Madrid's more down-tempo compared to Barcelona, but that doesn't make it like less of a city or inferior. It just means you need to look at the right places. And my recommendation for you guys when you go out to Madrid is go with a tour guide, or meet a local, or speak to a local, talk to them about what the places are out there. Or even, like I said over and over and over, I mention this every time I talk about traveling, and I'll mention it again, look into Airbnb experiences, because this is a good way of connecting with locals without looking weird or sounding weird. And they show you around and they show you the best places, because Madrid has a lot to offer. It's just a type of place where you need to know what you're doing in Madrid. It's not like Barcelona, where you can go anywhere and it'll be a good time, or even Seville. You got to know what you're doing in Madrid in order to have a fun time. And that turns people off, because they're like, Madrid's nice, but it's kind of boring. You know, it's known as a beautiful city, but a boring city. And I think that's far from the truth. You just got to know where to go in Madrid. Even though Madrid does have tourist spots, like for example, Retiro Park, which is a tourist spot, Plaza Mayor, tourist spot. There's a couple of cathedrals. I forgot the name of the cathedrals, but there's a cathedral, a specific cathedral in Madrid that's very famous. That a lot of people go to for the sunset. That's a very touristy spot. There's tourist spots in Madrid, but they don't stick out as much as other cities. So Sevilla, we have the Setas of Sevilla, right? Barcelona, you have Barcelona is a ton. There's a ton of places in Barcelona, right? You have the Arc, a Barceloneta Beach. You have a Ramblas area. You got a Tibidabo. You have a Park Güell. You know, Camp Nou, which, you know, Estadio Bernabeu, which we're going to get to. Madrid has that. But Madrid doesn't really have big tourist spots compared to other Spanish cities, so that kind of holds it back. That doesn't mean that it's less or it's better, but it just means that it doesn't stick out as much as other cities. That's the thing, and that adds on to the boring part of it, that it's not as exciting as the other Spanish cities. But like I said, that's not the truth. This is the experience that I got. I could be wrong. Not that it bothered me or annoyed me, because I know Spanish. But my girl, for example, she's Russian. She only speaks English and Russian, right? And when I went out to Madrid, for the most part, a lot of people just spoke Spanish for the most part. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they don't get as many tourists as other places. I don't know what it is. It's more, or it could have been the neighborhood we were in, actually. We were in La Latina in Madrid, which is one of the nicest, coolest neighborhoods, hippiest neighborhoods in all of Madrid, which I like. I like La Latina. So it could have been the neighborhood, actually. Now that I think about it, in that neighborhood, a lot of people just spoke Spanish. It was mostly local. So a lot of people in that area that we were in were mostly local. So actually, I think I might have answered my own question. So it could have been because of the neighborhood we were in. But even the first time I went there, I was by Plaza Mayor. Like literally, guys, literally. The first time I went to Madrid, I was staying in an apartment building on top of a restaurant. And literally, if you walk a couple feet from there, Plaza Mayor is right there. So the busiest, most touristy area. And still, I met a lot of people that really didn't speak English like that. They just spoke Spanish. In fact, I think they might have spoken more French and other languages than they spoke English. And it's not because they hate English. I don't know why, actually. They speak minimal English. But I don't know what it is about Madrid. But they don't, compared to other cities I've been to in Spain, I feel like I heard the least English in Madrid compared to other places. Doesn't mean that nobody speaks English. I'm sure there's a ton of people. There's a lot of American people that live at Madrid that speak English, you know, that be able to assist you and help you if need be. But it's not like other cities where they speak more English. In Madrid is more Spanish. So that's a con that you might encounter. So get those Google Translate apps ready. And know a little Spanish too. So the heat's another one. The heat isn't as crazy as Seville, but it is hotter than Barcelona. So and when you're in Madrid, in the center of the city, it's hot. Okay, so at certain points, that heat, it be hitting and it hurts. Okay, so make sure that you get your little hats in the summertime to cover yourself from the heat. Get your little SPF, whatever you want to do. Stay indoors for a little bit, cool off, because it does get very hot in Madrid. All right, so let's go to the pros. So sophisticated. Honestly, guys, the most sophisticated cities I've seen in Europe, that I've been to in Europe, and I still have a lot of places I haven't gone to in Europe. The two most sophisticated places I've seen thus far is Paris, which we're going to get to one day, and number 2, Madrid. Madrid is so sophisticated. It looks like the Spanish version of Madrid without the Eiffel Tower, if that makes any sense. There's no Eiffel Tower or big, landmark like Paris, for example. But every single building, for the most part, is a work of art. I would say that aside from Seville, Madrid is the nicest Spanish city I've been to. Madrid is actually more nicer to look at than Barcelona. I think Madrid's just so nice and sophisticated. The buildings glow up at night. It looks like Paris. It's so nice and beautiful. And everything's white, and and white is a big color in Madrid. A lot of these buildings are in white, which is how Paris is too. White, like those type of colors. Sometimes you might get a little color in there, but everything is royal white, nice. sophisticated, and the streets are nice, and you know the touristy areas are so nice, and it's just a nice city, very nice to look at. Cute restaurants and cool rooftop bars. So guys, there's a lot of cool rooftop bars in Madrid. So guys, look at this. So this is one of the best hotel bar rooftop bars in all of Madrid. It's called Hotel Ruy Plaza España. Check it out. So these are just some pictures. This is the hotel itself. That's the rooftop. So you guys have probably seen this on TikTok. It has bars, nice areas. You know, it even has a pool. It has these glass floors and shit, which is where this girl's standing on is glass. You can see the bottom and everything. This is it at night. You know, this is that. So this is a little, you know, glass like walkway. You can see the whole Madrid. Honestly, the best views of Madrid are in this hotel. So if you want to see the best views of Madrid, go to Hotel Ruy. Hotel Ruy is only €5 to go inside of it, depending on what time of the day. It could go up a little bit depending on the time of the day. But when we went around midday, so we're talking 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on I think it was in the week. In the weekend, it might be more expensive. But I think it was on a Monday, Tuesday, I forgot when it was. It was during a weekday, but it was only $5 to go in, which wasn't bad. The prices can be a little more expensive compared to other places in Madrid, but it's worth the trip, guys, especially if it's your first time in Madrid. Definitely visit it. You see all these cool pictures over here, guys, the people there. Check it out. To me, it's my favorite rooftop bar in all of Madrid. This is more of a Europe thing, actually, but Madrid specifically is very walkable. So you can literally walk to all the big tourist spots, all the big tourist areas, all the good areas in Spain. You don't even have to take a taxi or a Uber if you want to save money, right? You can literally walk from one spot to the next. Doesn't mean everything's super close to one another where everything's on top of each other. But let's just say if you wanted to get from the neighborhood I was at, La Latina, to Plaza Mayor, it would take you like 10, 15 minutes, depending how fast you walk, which isn't bad. Because in American cities, you try to go from one place to the next, it'll take you like almost an hour. But in Madrid, you can walk from one place to the next within 10 minutes or 15 minutes apart from each other, right? So everyone walks in Madrid. Either that or they take Ubers or they take public transportation. The public transportation system in Madrid is very good and easy. So I do definitely recommend you guys do that. The Ubers out there are also very cheap. We literally went from the center of the city of Madrid to the suburbs of Madrid. And it took us, like 15, 20 minute, 25 minute ride. And it was only like $10, $10 which isn't bad. Because you try to take a 30-minute ride in America, that's going to cost you like, in fact, from my place to the Newark airport, which is what a lot of people in New York City drive to fly off of, from here to there, and I'm not far from Newark airport. I'm literally like 15, 20 minutes away. And that 15, 20-minute ride will cost me an arm and a leg almost to get there. I remember one time I paid $60, $60, $70. Meanwhile, in Madrid, I go from Madrid to the suburbs of Madrid, which is a good distance, pretty much the same amount or more in terms of distance, and it'll be only $10, you know? Anyways, all right, so that's that. And speaking of that, it's the most livable big city in Spain. So in Seville, which is, I will talk about this in the future, Seville is extremely hot. Okay, extremely hot. Barcelona is cool, but it's very expensive compared to the other big cities. And then Madrid is in between of that. So the temperatures are pretty decent. The prices are pretty affordable, especially for a capital city, which is unheard of because other capital cities are expensive. They're the most expensive place in that country. But in Spain, it's reverse. Barcelona is the most expensive. Madrid's actually more affordable. I think Madrid might have been the most affordable place I've been to in Spain. And it's the capital. How does that work? You know, but it's the most affordable. I think Seville might have been more expensive Seville had more tourists than Madrid. We encountered way more tourists in Seville than what we did in Madrid, which might explain why it's much more affordable than the other big cities in Spain. But Madrid is very affordable. You can literally go out with your girl, your dude, and you could, between the both of you, you guys can be having a $50 dinner, $60 tops maybe, in a good spot. In America, $60 for a meal. Like a lot of the time for a date in America, you're paying $100 plus, depending where you're going. 50, 60, maybe less than that, depending. For a meal, for a dinner, that's not bad at all. Maybe even less. If you're going out to drink, you're not spending that much, especially as a solo traveler. If you're going by yourself, guys, it's gonna be cheap as hell. You can literally have a great night out for like $50 in Madrid. In America, $50 is there's a couple drinks. It's probably like 3 drinks in America. If that. 3 drinks. You don't have to pay no interest fee, nothing. You just go straight in and whatever. Some places do require interest fee though, but for the most part, you go in and you're good. So it's very affordable for capital. But back to the whole livable thing. It's the most livable. A lot of the locals that I've met from Madrid, or even outside of Madrid, from Barcelona, Seville, they say the same thing. The place you want to live at is Madrid. There's a lot of opportunity there. It's very nice. The suburbs of Madrid are very nice. I've been to the suburbs of Madrid, and it does live up. Like, I do like it. I could see myself living there. Like, I think, yeah, honestly, if I were to pick a place to live, as much as I do want to live in Barcelona, because it's so, like, cool and, like, so much to do, I feel like Barcelona is for people that are younger, that are in their bachelor years, right? That's the place you want to be at. Seville is cool, too. I love Seville. It's very charming, but it's very hot. But Madrid is in between that. So Madrid, you know, it's a good couple hours away from Seville, a good couple hours away from Barcelona, not too crazy. So if you wanted to take a train ride, you could. It's right there from one another. It's the temperatures can be hot in the summer, but it's not as crazy as Seville. You have New York City like type of shit, so you have everything right there for you. And you know, if you live in the suburbs, to go to the center of the city is not that far, and the suburbs are very nice. Everyone's cool with each other, nice houses. It's more affordable than living in Barcelona, for example. So this is why a lot of people were saying Madrid is the best place to live in compared to the other places. So if you want to live in Madrid, that's definitely a good city to live in compared to other big cities that I've mentioned so far. The nightlife. And this is the thing is everyone, when again, I'm going to mention these 2 places again, Barcelona and Ibiza. When people think about Spain, they think about those 2 cities, but they leave out Madrid. And Madrid, I went on a bar tour there over the summer. And let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all sleeping on Madrid. Madrid in some ways, is better than Barcelona in terms of nightlife. And it's only because it feels like a true, authentic experience. Like you feel like you're in Spain. When you go to Barcelona, it feels like you're kind of in the Miami of Europe. Because when you go to Barcelona and you party over there and you go to the bars, you're encountering a lot of people from all around. And that's a good and a bad thing. It's good and bad, right? It's good because you're encountering a lot of different people from all around the world in Barcelona. All right, so it's good because you're encountering a lot of different people. You're getting to meet a lot of different type of people, right? But it's bad because you don't get that true Spanish authentic experience unless you go into the locals area. But in Madrid, from my experience, we met a lot of Spanish people. A lot of Spanish people went to these spots. We're amongst Spanish people. We felt like locals almost. It's almost like we got the true authentic Spanish experience, the true authentic Spanish clubbing experience. And that's what you get in Madrid. So every single bar we went to was different from the next. It was awesome. It wasn't like that many tourists there, so no asshole tourists. Yeah, Madrid has a lot of diversity, a lot of cool things. They're big into EDM. If you're into Spanish music, they got that too. You're big to Afro beats, they got Afro beats too. Whatever you want, they got that there. And so Madrid, don't sleep on Madrid when it comes to nightlife. Okay, so of course, and this is something I didn't get to experience in Madrid. I experienced it in Barcelona and in Seville. But supposedly, from what I hear, this is why I put it in quotations, because I didn't get to experience it myself. But from what I hear from articles online, and of course what I hear from locals and people, is that Madrid got the best flamenco in the country. Now, for those of you who don't know what flamenco is a gypsy dance where people are, you know what they got, like they be stepping on the floor, and they're doing these dance floors and shit on the floor. So supposedly Madrid got the best flamenco in Spain, and supposedly it's because they get the highest salary in Madrid, which makes sense mathematically. It means the capital of Spain, you would think that in the capital of Spain was where the most money is at. So that's what their thing is. That the people from Seville, where it originated from, it's a gypsy dance from Seville, originated in Seville, and a lot of these people from Seville, Barcelona, around the country, they flock to Madrid and they dance in Madrid because that's where the most money is at in that business, which is why they supposedly, quotation marks, I could be wrong, they have the best flamenco in Spain. All right. So yeah, they supposedly have that. So you guys can look it out for yourself. You guys can look it up. You guys can go. Let me know if that's true or not. I didn't get to go. Maybe the next time I go to Madrid, I'm gonna check it out because I went to see flamenco in Seville and in Barcelona. I haven't done Madrid yet. So if you guys could check that out for me and let me know in the comment section, that would definitely be awesome. Okay, so those are some pros of Madrid. Let's go over the places to visit. So Plaza Mayor is what I was telling you guys about. It's the biggest plaza in Madrid, center of the city. Check that out. A lot of cool shops. One piece of advice I will give you guys for Plaza Mayor is Plaza Mayor is the type of place you go to, you look at, you chill for a bit, and you leave. It's not the type of place where you go into the restaurants. So there's a lot of restaurants in that plaza. I recommend for you guys not to do it because the food isn't always the best. And on top of that, it's very pricey because it's tourist prices. Because everyone goes there. So you're best off walking down the block and going somewhere else for tacos or something, or sangria or paella or tapas, and going there and it'll be half the price. You're best off doing that than being in Plaza Mayor itself because it'll be more expensive. It'll be double, triple the price. All right. What I do recommend that you guys have not necessarily in the plaza itself, but a little bit out of the plaza, it's called Chocolateria 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐷. Okay, so Chocolateria 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐷 is where they get their churros, right? The long churros, and I think it's cinnamon, sprinkled with cinnamon. These fried cinnamon sticks, something like that. That's how I would describe it. And you get to dip it in chocolate and you eat it. So that's very popular in Madrid. Madrid has the best churros, right? Even though there's one spot Seville had better ones, but overall, Madrid got the best churros. And Chocolateria 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐷 is known for this. They're all over TikTok. It's very popular. Check it out. It's a cool spot. That's how it looks like on the inside. Yeah, so guys, check that out if you're by Plaza Mayor. So it's a little off of Plaza Mayor. It's not that far from Plaza Mayor. It's right there, actually. So check that spot out. It's not expensive at all. The churros are like a couple bucks with the chocolate. You're spending probably like 10 euros for a bunch of churros and thing, maybe less depending. But yeah, make sure you have a drink too. Your mouth can get a little bit dry. But yeah, you have Plaza Mayor, Puerta del Sol, which is the center of the city. Actually, Puerta del Sol is kind of like a lot of big buildings, all that, like cool little buildings and stuff. They have like a statue with a bear and a tree, and that's located in Puerta del Sol. That's a big meetup spot in Madrid. So yeah, Puerta del Sol, which is the center of the city, a lot of clubs and stuff and bars that come off of Puerta del Sol. Hotel Rui, which is what I was going over with you guys. It's that rooftop bar with the glass floors, and you can see all of the city. Definitely recommend that. Chocolateria de 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐷 is what I went over with the churros. Of course, guys, if you're a football fan, it don't matter what team. It could be even Barcelona. You might be a fan of Barcelona, but definitely visit Estadio Santiago Bernabéu. Okay, the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium. Visit it. Do a tour. I did a tour. You can check that out in Against All Odds episode 7. Yeah, episode 7. Check that out in Against All Odds episode 7, Madrid. I did literally a tour there. Now, it's not as good as actually doing it. And at the time that I went, guys, the stadium wasn't finished yet. It was still being renovated. Right? So they're doing construction within the stadium at the time that I went. So it was the dirt and construction shit. So I didn't really get the full experience. But now that the stadium is basically finished, from the interior and the exterior, I definitely recommend you guys check it out now. Because it definitely is it's the biggest and best stadium in all of football, guys. It's home to the biggest club in football. All right, so Retiro Park is kind of like, you have to think of it almost like, and I've only seen Retiro Park from the outside, guys. I haven't really gone into Retiro Park, but from what I hear from people and what I've seen from the outside, it looks beautiful. They have like these boats and stuff, rowboats where you guys can row and shit. It's really nice. They have like a glass house area, like a glass area where you guys can go into. It's really nice. But I definitely recommend Retiro Park. It's kind of like a getaway away from the city, from the hustle bustle. So it's kind of like Central Park almost. And then Gran Via is kind of like It's kind of reminiscent of New York. It kind of reminds me of New York. So when you go in it, you can see all these big buildings, sophisticated buildings, bars, restaurants, a bunch of different things right next to one another. It gives me New York vibes. Rooftop bars everywhere. So if you want like, you know, most activity, you know, a lot of different shit, New York style type of stuff, Gran Via is the place to go. A lot of buildings, places, and businesses and stuff in Gran Via. So it's very, in fact, the picture itself that you guys are looking at is Gran Via. That's Gran Via. Okay. So that's Madrid, guys. Madrid, fantastic city. Doesn't get the credit it deserves. Probably one of the most underrated places. I know people underrated. What do you mean? It's underrated, bro. When people think about Spain, when they talk about Spain, Barcelona, Ibiza, Mallorca, Seville. Oh, Madrid was cool, but it was boring. They always say that it's boring, but it's not. It is what you make it. Madrid's one of those cities where it is what you make it. If you go out there and you actually do your research and you go out there and you look for things and you get to know locals, you know, and I know a lot of people are going to say, why do I have to do all that to have a good time? Madrid is just one of those cities, guys. It's just one of those cities where you have to know what you're doing.